Okay, let's unpack Hell in a Cell. First off, beginning with a Kool-Aid Crush Hell in a Cell match between Orton and Hardy. It didn't feel like it needed a Hell in a Cell, but I think Jeff is getting towards the end of his career, and he's always wanted to do a Hell in a Cell. And I think Orton was like, I really have nothing going on from a character standpoint. What if I just brutalize Jeff? And Jeff was like, what if I just brutalize me, okay? Has anyone ever worked like a gauge hole for an ear loop? No. Okay. Take the screwdriver, yeah? Jab it through the loop, yeah? And then just twist it. That's pretty disgusting. And we're going to work that into the match. And the feud. We're going to work you sticking your finger and trying to rip my earlobe off into the match. Which also involves steel chairs, ladders, tables, beating each other with a studded belt. Which made Orton's back look like tenderized beef. As well as Jeff Hardy. Jeff promised to do something insane. And after Swanton Bomb onto Orton with a ladder on him, with a chair on him, he decides to go straight and do it off a ladder and put her on a table. She goes to the ladder. And then he's like, wait a minute. I can hold onto this structure. And then he American Ninja Warrior crawls himself out while holding onto the structure and begins to swing. And I was like, if Orton catches him into an RKO into the table, that's it. But he falls down. And it goes through the table. And I was like, okay, Orton probably thought, can I catch him for an RKO? Can I? You don't know. Whoop. Badoo. Table explodes. Ref's like, he's dead. And Orton's like, no. This is a no DQ, no count match. I have to pin him. Let me pin the carcass. So he rolls over the limp torso of Jeff Hardy and then pins him. And I was like, okay, who is stuck after that match? Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. I know they try to make Becky the heel, but villains only work when their actions are self-justified. When she goes, I have fought for so long to get a title shot, Charlotte gets involved and wins the match. She's actually justified in her actions. And Charlotte and Becky put on probably one of the best women's matches I've seen in a long time on the main roster. Lots of great back and forth action, crowd super into it. Oh. Watching Charlotte work the arm, get her in the disarmer, holding on to like the 4 count without breaking it, because you know she's the heel. But instead the crowd's like, no, that's Stone Cold Becky Lynch. Stone Cold Becky Lynch. Yep. Crowd fully behind her. Kind of does a roll through on a spear, gets the 3 count, and I was like, man, you know what she should do? They should show her backstage being like, hey, Braun, yeah? That's what you do. What? When Roman goes through the spear, you just kind of cradle him and roll to the side and you pin him. Just do that. So might as well finish out SmackDown. They don't put the pre-show on until like significantly after the show is done, so I couldn't get to see Rusev Day and New Day, but I know Rusev Day didn't win because New Day has got a title match against The Bar at Superstar Showdown, which kind of made the tournament and the match with Rusev Day kind of pointless. But hey, the New Day has to be on the pre-show. So, we have 2 more SmackDown matches. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. I love how in the pre-show they're like, if you told people 10 years ago these guys would be main eventing for the title, you'd have said you're crazy. And that's because 10 years ago, these guys had a lot less miles on their bodies. They still put on fantastic matches. But if you go back and watch their TNA stuff, man, their athleticism was off the charts. It's still really good now, but the fact that we saw it in a previous company, that's always what you're going to compare it to. Good match, good workers, they work well together. I love the finish of Coquina Clutch. Styles pushes him back, does the roll through, and gets the pin. Joe, thinking that AJ tapped, and that's why the bell rang, is like, I did it. And when the ref says, and still, and Joe's like, what the? And I was thinking, Joe needs to wreck house. Instead, he goes down to like the announce table and he's like, you saw him tap, right? You saw him tap. Just the right amount of controversy to keep the match going. But they've got a match at Superstar Showdown too, so I mean, it's almost like they shouldn't bill a second pay-per-view while they still have the one in front of it. It doesn't make any sense. Daniel Bryan Bree versus Miz and Maurice. I love the mind games of Miz trying to not do a lot of stuff with Daniel Bryan. And then Daniel being like, you're evading me. Bree, snuggle us. You get to beat on Maurice now. Maurice being like, Miz, get on the apron. Baby, get on the apron. Don't touch my wife, Bree. Then you're going to be like, okay, Miz, I'm going to beat the daylights out of you. Work a little bit. Team's doing some momentum. I'm going to tag it to Maurice. Bree gets in like, oh, I'm going to beat the daylights out of you, Maurice. She kind of evades her. Tag out to the Miz. I was like, this is some great healing. And then, of course, we get to have Bree beating up on the Miz to the elation of the crowd. Baseball slide. She hits Maurice. Starts pounding Maurice's face against the announce tables. Okay, looks pretty good. You can tell Maurice is still working on her timing because she did an extra bump. Okay. That works well enough. They're the two legal ones. Bizarre sequence in the ring where it's like, I'm going for a roll. No, I'm revert. Wait, what? I've got a kind of a covered roll up, hook both legs. Maybe I've got a handful of tights, 3 count. Maurice wins. Okay. So these are 2-0. Okay. Confusing ending to the match, but you know, I can see a couple to again say that how fantastic they are. If only they were a team for Mixed Match Challenge, but I think they were like, okay, Maurice, can you really bump after giving birth 5 months ago? And they're probably like, it's super gray eggs, we don't know. But they did enough to at least have it be in there, so they want to push it off to Evolution. They've got an extra month to kind of, you know, work out ring rust and really get ready for a solid match. And of course, the build-up will have been 3 matches of them not doing anything. You want to watch them fight? Get on the network. $9.95 a month. $9.99 a month. First month is free. So that's all the SmackDown stuff. Now on the Raw side, the tag title match. Of course, you've got your 4 workhorses, and they put on this fantastic, near like 30-minute workhorse match. And I will say, tremendous amount of ferociousness, know each other ridiculously well. Fantastic match. Seeing all of these near falls and the crowd buying into all of them, it's fantastic. Seeing the finish be the superplex and the Falcon Arrow, which should be a finish. That should finish match. People should get pinned by a superplex finish going into Falcon Arrow. Seth going for the Falcon Arrow bit on Ziggler. Running by McIntyre, Claymore kick. And I was like, that's solid booking. That's fantastic. Ambrose versus Ziggler. I want to see them fight again. Rollins, McIntyre. I want to see them fight. Ziggler, Rollins, we know it's good. They're great workhorses. Ambrose, McIntyre. I want to see the lunatic take on the psychopath, or whatever they want to call him now, the Scottish sociopath. I want to see those matches. It's fantastic. But they also worked in the main event too for whatever reason. but we'll get there. Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey. I'm really glad they worked in an injury, because Alexa Bliss should have no chance against Ronda Rousey. But with the rib injury, it allowed them to work an injury spot throughout the match. It made Bliss look really smart. She did whatever she could to, needle a shot to the ribs, kick her in the ribs, reverse moves into like a rib, just basic, good old-fashioned heel trickery. And plus, she comes out with running buddies. It allows them to kind of also attack Ronda Rousey, which then brings Natalya involved in it. It is just the right amount to make you go, okay, you know what? Bliss can't win by herself, but against an injured Ronda Rousey, with help, doesn't seem so implausible for her to eke out a victory. But she doesn't. Ronda Rousey retains. Solid match. Worked well. Now we get into the last match. Hell in a Cell. So, here's your storylines involved. Reigns, Strowman have had fantastic matches. Great, brutal matches. First time together in a Hell in a Cell. Cashing in of the contract. Then they threw in Mick Foley, who can't bump, and I actually don't really want to see him in the ring. Because I'm afraid that he's going to try something, and he's going to be permanently handicapped. So we begin the night with Hardy in a Hell in a Cell, when it's like, Jeff, please don't die. Don't injure yourself. You have kids. And then we end with Foley in a cell. So you're like, Foley, don't do anything stupid. You have kids. And Strowman and Roman they had some good moments of brutality. But when they didn't have weapons, it was like Superman punch, stagger, Superman punch, stagger, Superman reversal, or big move, reverse Superman punch. And I was like, this isn't working for me. Spear into a table in the corner. 1, 2, kick out. Okay. Now McIntyre and Ziggler come right out of the ring. And then Ambrose and Rollins come right out of the ring. They're attacking Ziggler and McIntyre. Ziggler decides, I'm going to climb on top of the cage because why not escape through the crowd? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to climb this cage. I'm going to trap myself up there. Because that'll show them. The thing is chased by Rollins. Okay? While they're fighting in the cage, Reigns and Strowman are just laying in the mat. I'm like, okay. Now we got Ambrose fighting McIntyre. Okay. A lot of tables are cleared off. 2 of them. Okay. Ambrose climbs up the cage with the candlestick strapped to his back. Okay. They brutalize each other again. Okay. Both Ambrose and McIntyre are now down outside the top of the cage. Pan to the inside. Foley's looking at 2 people who are just laying there going, action in the ring is entirely stopped. But they had this awesome chance, so that's all that really matters. And then Rollins and Ziggler kind of fight a little, and Ziggler's like, whoa, I need to get down from this cage. I'm going to come down. And then kind of shimmy to the right. And then Rollins is like, I'm going to come down. And make sure that, we're in the same spot where we're going to fall off of the first main section of the cage through these 2 tables. And I was like, 1, why would you even fight while in the cage? Climbing top of the cage doesn't make any sense. A really dumb move. Climbing and then stopping to fight each other when you very easily could just climb your way down the cage. Because if I'm Ziggler, I'm not going to stop to fight Rollins. I'm going to try to get underneath Rollins and then powerbomb him from the cage, from a portion of the cage, through a table. Not just both take the bizarre mid-cage bump through the table because you wanted this is awesome chant. Doesn't make any sense. All the hates are that much that they're going to awkwardly stand on the exact same piece of metal to then fall off and go through the table. Spot looks cool. But while that's going on, Ambrose and McIntyre are now unconscious on top of the cage. But then Lesnar comes down, who kicks in the cage. Okay? And then Heyman maces Mick Foley. F5 to Strowman. F5 to Roman, putting Roman on top of Strowman. I'm thinking, oh, you know what? Have ref come in, count the 3. No, the ref instead throws the match out. They back themselves into a corner yet again with the Hell in a Cell. That's probably you do pay-per-view around the Hell in a Cell instead of them happening organically. This happened before when CM Punk was champion. He's supposed to take on John Cena in a Hell in a Cell. But Cena got injured, then they threw the undefeated Ryback. And they had to do some sort of random, so they do? Dirty ref quick count. So then Ryback lost his undefeated streak. Next month they brought in the Shield to attack Ryback. And it was like, Ryback never really truly recovered. Now, a similar situation where it's like, the crowd was great for seeing Lesnar come back and beat up 2 of them, but it was like, okay, this is Super Showdown match where we're going to have Lesnar taking on Strowman and Roman. Is it going to be Roman and Strowman having the return match? So we burned through their first match in a Hell in a Cell, their first encounter. The Money in the Bank briefcase. And then also put the Pac versus the Shield. Okay. I think they're doing a 6-man match. So it's the Pac versus the Shield at Showdown. Okay. Unless that's what they do for the Survivor Series team. But then who else do you add on those 2 sides? Do you do Lashley with the Shield? And then Kevin Owens with the Pac? And then what does Lesnar do? It's one of those things where it just felt really, it's like, okay, great, Lesnar's done. Moving on. Lesnar's back. Haven't really gone anywhere. It's like, oh. Just give me Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman taking on Bobby Lashley, the 23-year-old piece of Leo Rush, run his mouth against Heyman. Just give me something like that. Give me something fresh. Give me something different. We've had pretty much 2 years of Roman and Strowman and Lesnar, effectively. With, here's a little bit of Joe, here's with someone else. It's like, The best match we had from Lesnar for quite some time was actually seeing Lesnar take on AJ Styles. It seemed like this event really had some solid matches, but then it had just some really bad booking spots here.